Hey everybody, this is Brian from Carving is Fun. In this little project, we're going to be making a simple little gnome here. This is a very simple little project, and all you're going to need to do it is your preferred whittling knife, a 1 by 1 by 3 inch piece of basswood, and a pencil to make some marks. And to make it easier for you guys, I will also have a picture of the current step on the left hand side over here, so you don't have to worry about falling behind or anything like that. Now first things first, you're going to need to make marks on the block of wood. I'll have a template on the screen right now in both inches and metric for you. Now, so you have an idea of what each of the little marks are going to be. This one is going to be the bottom of the nose. This is the bottom of the beard, top of the feet, and these are indicators of the top and bottom of the elbows on the side here. Now that you have your marks on the wood, we're going to start removing some of the wood here. What I like to do is go by start off by doing the corners here, by taking starting off by the bottom of the elbow, just kind of cut inwards and remove a little bit of that little space there on both sides. And then make a little stop cut right there on where the bottom of the hat is, and then on the top of the elbow, just go up to it. We're going to do a stop cut here. We will be removing more wood, but what this is doing is just preventing you from accidentally taking off more wood than you mean to on the side there. Do the same thing to the other side. Do a stop cut right there, following the top of the hat. And then you got the little sides going there. Now this part is going to be completely up to you for the hat. I kind of like my hats going off to the side a little bit. It looks a little bit better for me. But a simpler version would be if you just made it go straight up and down. That's completely up to you. You won't have to worry about working with the wood grain. But for me, what I'm going to do is just going to kind of curve the hat going off the side a little bit, just a little bit there. And then bring that one in. Just freehand it. It doesn't have to be perfect. No need for perfection in any of these things. All right, so now I'm going to just remove that extra wood on the side there. And like I said, if you're just doing it straight up and down, this is going to be a very easy little part for you. Making a point is going to be the easiest shape to make. So yeah, just basically taking off all that extra wood on the side there that you don't need. Cutting across the wood grain there. You're going to need to make sure your knife is nice and sharp for that. There we go. And for this part, you're going to have to kind of curve inwards, but you don't want to slice in and then slice back out. Otherwise, you're going to accidentally rip off all this wood, because you're going to be cutting, right here, we're going to be cutting across the wood grain. But if we keep slicing up, we're going to slice against the wood grain. And that'll just cause the wood to split. So in this case, what we're going to do is come in from the top and bottom, and it's just going to allow us to easily make a nice little curve in there. Pretty simple little thing. You can see I'm starting to get my little hat going there. All right, and then from here, what we're going to do is do a little, we're going to start on the bottom of the nose, little indicator there, so do a stop cut on the bottom of the nose, and just do a little cut upwards, just like that. And then we're going to do about the same thing on the bottom here. I'm going to do 2 stop cuts, so push them in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from one part going towards the foot, and then I'm going to go the opposite direction going towards the bottom of the beard there. So you can see it's kind of like a half hourglass shape going on there. So now that I have those key spots pictured out there, we're going to start defining the face a little bit more, and also adding more detail to where the beard is. I'm going to do the beard about right there. This is all preliminary right now. I'm doing this just so I have an idea of where I want to to do all my cuts. There we go. So let's get the face a little bit more defined here. So I'm going to do a quick stop cut along the face and just kind of work my way in. Let's do small little cuts for right now. And all we're doing is separating the hat and the face. And then bring in the shoulder a little bit there. Since I know where the beard is going to be, I know exactly where I can bring in the cuts without, while knowing that I'm not over exceeding it. It's always easier to remove the wood later on. You don't need to remove all the wood at the very beginning. Just doing small steps, and it prevents you from taking off more than necessary. Now we're going to do the nose here. So doing the nose, we're not going to cut straight back, but we're going to kind of cut up at an angle. So I'm starting at the tip of the nose here. I'm going to push back towards the face, just a little bit there. And this is kind of angling the nose inwards a little bit. And take this spot slow. Don't need to get it all done in one motion. There we go. And then from here, I'm gonna do a little bit of a sideways cut here. I want to define that nose a little bit. Be very ginger with the nose. Take small cuts. Don't apply a lot of pressure or you might accidentally completely remove that nose. I feel like I need to make a little bit more of a deeper cut up here. There we go. Still had a little bit of wood hanging up near the top. Clean up the nose a little so it's more rounded. Do a couple little cuts there. Now that I have my nose defined, it kind of pinpoints right where your face is going to be. So now what I like to do is come in and do the beard. So I'll just stick my tip of the blade in and follow that line that I made right there all the way up. You don't need to go in all like super far in there, but I'm basically just sticking my blade in and going in. And then what I'm going to do here is take my tip of my blade and come in at another angle and remove a little bit of that wood there that I just outlined. And then you're kind of outlining your beard a little bit more there. So do the same thing to the other side. And remove that section there. Easy peasy. And from there we can kind of define the rest of the body a little bit since the beard is separated. So just kind of go further, clean up and separate out the beard, the face, or the beard and the body. I'm going to go the other way. Just notice that if I was going to go this way, I'd be going against the wood grain there, and that would not be ideal. So going with it and across it is the best way to do it. So now that we got that kind of defined, we can start rounding off the face a little bit more here. We don't want to take off too much wood, otherwise it's just gonna it'll look a little bit funny. I have one of them where I started taking off too much wood in there, and it didn't look right. So I just kind of take enough off so that it looks like it's suggesting that there's a face there and a separation. You don't need to make it super defined unless you really want to. All right, cool. So now what I'm going to do is actually take the hat there, and I'm going to turn it into more of a cone and start taking off some of these sharp corners so that it's a little bit more comfortable to hold on to. And remember right here, when you're going with that curve, make sure you're not going against the wood grain or you might split it. So I'm guessing that my hat's going to go about right there. I just start removing that excess wood. And just kind of round it off roughly. I'm going to do mine pretty rough and quick. It's pretty much the style that I like to do anyways. I don't like doing super detailed carvings. It's just, I don't think I have the patience for it, to be honest. I like my carvings nice, simple, and not taking too much time. Taking off the corners of the hat so that it looks a little bit more rounded. And then backside here. You can use a pencil for this, but I'm using my blade as a marker in the wood. That way I don't have to put down my knife and then pick up another tool, put it down, pick up my knife again. It's all in my hands and I can just do it. Super simple. Some of this can be finished up at the end if you want to use like sandpaper. Just hit it with some 220 grit sandpaper and you'll be perfectly fine. Looks like I got a little knot in my wood right there. There we go. Good enough for the top there. And one of the things I like to do at this part, I kind of like to smooth off the beard a little bit so it's not all pointy and just flat. So just take it, smooth off the rougher portions. And then one of the fun little things I do on here, it adds a little bit extra perspective. So what I'm going to do is create a V on the close to the bottom here of the beard. So I create a V on the bottom here, and then what I'll do is I'll come back up and kind of just remove that little intersection there. And that just creates a little bit more depth in the beard. There we go. It's just a little extra feature. And smooth off the rest of the beard here. Now at this point I'm going to start working on the sides a little bit more and defining the arms. So what I do like to do is drop the shoulders down just a little bit. So I know that this part right here is the head, but I'm going to drop the shoulders down to about right there. So I'm going to remove this little section here on both sides. That's pretty easy to do. Just push up in there, create a stop cut there at the top, and just kind of remove some of that wood there. That way it allows the arm to stand out just a little bit more, allows the head to stand out a little bit more. There we go. And do about the same thing to the other side. Stop cut, sweeping cut, and check. Stop cut, sweeping cut, and check. Good enough. Good enough for me. All right, and then from here, it's a good idea to start planning out where the rest of your body features are going to be. So I know here I have my elbow right here, so I'm going to say that this is like the inside corner of my elbow, so I'm going to create a little bit of a triangular cutout right there just so you can define the arms a little bit. And then I'm going to define where the bottom of the sleeves are going to be right about here. I'm going to be putting the hands in the pocket. That way you don't have to worry about carving hands, especially on a smaller carving project. It's harder. So I'm going to create some pockets right here where it kind of just like suggests that there is hands inside the pocket. All right, so now that you have that, what we're going to do is kind of create that little triangular cut. It's kind of like doing a non-symmetrical pyramid cut here. And so you got the inside corner of your arms and outlined right there. Do the same thing to the other side. And don't worry about if like your carving is not perfectly symmetrical. If you look at yourself in the mirror, chances are you're not going to be standing perfectly symmetrical anyway, so me personally, I'm perfectly fine with a little bit of visual, quote-unquote, imperfections in the wood there for if one side looks like its arm's a little bit lower than the other, or if the lines are not perfectly matched up. That's perfectly acceptable. All right, and then for here, what I'm going to do is create a little stop cut at the line where the pocket is, and then I'll come down to it so that I leave some wood at the bottom, and I start tapering off the hands up here. There we go. Do the same thing to the other side. Stop cut right there. And top of the arms are done. And from here, what I can do is I can create a stop cut right there, and I can further define where that arm is. So just create a little bit of an extra detail right there on the sides. There we go. So now you have your arms a little bit more defined right there. Before I start doing the pockets, I know that I want my hands to go like kind of into here, but it kind of looks like they're going a little bit further. So what I'm going to do is actually stop that. So I'm going to do another little pyramid-like cut right there. Just make it look like the hands are going into the pockets a little bit more. Get some of this excess wood out of there. And you can see that the hands look like it's going more into the pockets. So do the same thing to the other side. All right, and then for the pockets, this is going to be pretty simple. Just like what we did with the beard, stick your tip of the blade in and just follow that little bulge you made, or the little outline you made for the pockets on both sides. And again, perfection is not necessary. There's no need to make it each side look exactly the same. All right, from there, just gonna go and take off some of that extra wood on the bottom by sticking the tip of the blade in and just carving along the bottom of that line there. And then you see we got little pockets made. All right, cool. Now that those are made, we can start outlining the pants a little bit more. So we're going to be at the same level as the bottom of the pockets and kind of just remove a little bit of the extra wood. It helps the pockets that you made stand out a little bit more, and then when we round it off, it looks a little bit more natural. So I'm just going to take that. There we go. So now we have space for the pockets, and now we're going to start doing the front legs here. So taking the front legs, I need to just remove a little bit of the extra wood. And then for the front, I'm actually going to be lopping off this entire corner right there. The reason why I left it on there earlier is because it's just a good indicator for where things are at. So you know where it goes, and it's always easier to remove the wood later on than remove it ahead of time before you have a picture of everything. So what I'm doing here is I'm redefining basically where the feet are. I'm kind of creating the shelf for the feet to go on before I start rounding off the pockets there. Do a little separator for the feet. We'll admit this is not my best one, but I think it looks good. All right, so start rounding off the pockets a little bit more. And you can get as detailed as you want in this part. I'm going to keep mine pretty simple just for this video here. And all I'm doing here is just making small little itty bitty cuts. Now I'm just going to define the top of the shoes on the sides. So cut downwards and at a slight angle just to make it look more rounded there. I feel like I'm taking off a little bit more wood on the feet than I should, but that happens. You might do the same thing. Don't worry about it. Really, it doesn't matter. There we go. Now, from here, I'm just going to kind of start rounding off those pockets because I noticed I left those on there. So just make small cuts on the bottom of the flat parts. And clean them up a little bit. Yeah, my pockets are a little bit rough. There we go. And from there, it's kind of just cleanup time after this. Just clean up all the pointy, jagged spots. Make some of the flatter spots more round. And then you're basically done. You can paint it afterwards. Oh no, we're not done. We gotta do the back side. Almost forgot about that. I've been so focused on the front that I forgot about the back. The back side's pretty easy. Really, all we're gonna do on the back side is just round it off. But first we wanna make sure that the arms are nice and round. There we go. So on the back side, I'm just gonna essentially lop off that entire corner right there. Now if you wanted to as well, you can mirror that little cut on the back side. Personally, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I did it on any of my other ones. Just make it look nice and round, and you'll get a pretty nice little shape to it, really. Just round off the back side so that it looks like he's hunching forward a little bit more. And that'll be about it. Just a little bit of definition on the back of the arms, I guess. Nothing fancy, just a little quick cut. And there we go. I'm going to call that one done for right now. From here you can use some sandpaper and just smooth them out a little bit more. You can paint them. You can use acrylic paint and whatnot. It'd be a good little fun project for you. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you have yourself a good day.